AITA for letting my SIL drown in debt after she wrecked my parents' business. Okay, buckle up, because this is a doozy. My 32 parents owned a small, local bakery for over 30 years. It wasn't fancy, but it was a staple in our town. They poured their heart and soul into it, and it was their retirement plan. My sister, Sarah 30F, married Mark 35M about 5 years ago. I never really liked Mark. Something about him just felt off. Fast forward a couple of years, and Mark starts acting like he's some kind of business guru. He convinced Sarah that my parents' bakery was stuck in the dark ages and needed a modern makeover to stay competitive. He pressured my parents to let him consult on the business. They were hesitant, but Sarah kept pushing, saying it was for their own good. Eventually, they caved. Huge mistake. Mark proceeded to completely dismantle the bakery. He convinced them to take out a massive loan to renovate make it look like every other generic, overpriced cafe. He fired the long-time staff, replaced them with trendy, inexperienced kids, and changed the menu to include ridiculous, Instagram-worthy concoctions nobody actually wanted. He claimed it would bring in a younger crowd. It didn't. It alienated the loyal customers who had supported them for decades. Within a year, the bakery was bleeding money. My parents were devastated. They tried to regain control, but Mark had manipulated them into signing over a significant amount of control of the new business to his consulting firm, which was basically just him working from his laptop. The bakery went under, and my parents lost everything. They had to sell their house and move into a tiny apartment. Their retirement was gone. My mom's health deteriorated rapidly afterwards, and she passed away less than a year later, a broken woman. Mark and Sarah, they walked away relatively unscathed. Mark claimed bankruptcy for his consulting firm, leaving my parents holding the bag. Sarah seemed genuinely sorry, but she stood by her husband, claiming he didn't mean for things to go that way. Now, here's where I might be. Since the bakery collapsed, Mark has been trying to launch various other businesses, none of which have taken off. Sarah, bless her heart, has been supporting them with a modest salary as a teacher. A few months ago, Mark approached me with a ground floor opportunity. He was starting a new tech company, of course he was, and needed investors. He pitched me hard, promising astronomical returns. I listened patiently, pretended to be interested, and even agreed to invest. I strung him along for weeks, requesting documents, asking questions, and generally making him jump through hoops. I knew he was desperate for the money. I knew Sarah had maxed out their credit cards and that they were barely scraping by. Finally, the day came when I was ready to transfer the funds. I even had the paperwork drawn up by my lawyer who was in on it, and loved the pettiness. Mark and Sarah came over, practically giddy with excitement. We signed the papers, and I promised the money would be in their account within 24 hours. The next day, I called Mark and told him I had changed my mind. I cited some vague clause in the contract and told him the deal was off. He went ballistic, screaming about ruined lives and broken promises. Sarah was sobbing. I just hung up. I know I essentially led them on and gave them false hope. I know that's a pretty cruel thing to do. But honestly, I don't feel bad. They ruined my parents' lives and took away their future. I just gave them a tiny taste of what that feels like. Am I the asshole? I'm expecting the answer is probably yes.